before that, in the beginning of chapter 5, he encountered a demon-possessed man. Jesus, with his compassion and showing authority, said to the man, "What is your name?" And the man said that, "I am Legion, for we are many." He said the demons. He cast out the demons went to the herd of pigs, and the pigs, they went to the sea and they drowned. And now Jesus, this account, he's going to the other side of Gadara now. He's going on a ship, and it's like everywhere Jesus goes, they need him. Everywhere Jesus goes, they need him. They want to speak to him. "Hey, God, I have some problem here. Hey, Jesus, I have my need. Hey, Jesus, I need you to do something for me." But I like this right here in verse 21. It said this, "And when Jesus was passed over again by ship unto the other side, much people gathered unto him." Okay? People gathered to him. "Hey, Jesus in town, let's gather around him."
Right.
"And he was nigh unto the sea. And behold, there cometh one of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name. And when he saw him, he fell at his feet."
Right.
When he saw him, he fell at his feet.
Amen.
Because he knew who Jesus is.
Amen.
He heard. Now, this is the ruler of the synagogue, by the way. He's in charge of the worship, okay? Guess what? Know what that means? Pharisees are there. And I like to think about this. This man, he didn't care what the Pharisees said. He heard a lot of stories about this man. He heard a lot of stories about him feeding the 5,000. I'm quite sure he heard a lot of stories about him raising other people from the dead, healing other people, healing the lame, the sick. And I'm quite sure he heard about all of this stuff. And when he heard that Jesus was in town, he fell at his feet and started begging God. I like this right here. This is what I got from this. This is what I got from this. When people need God, God is never too busy for you.
Amen.
Yeah.
Think about it. When people need God, he is never too busy for you.
Amen.
These people are gathered around him. God, he is the control of time. He is the control of everything. Everything consists by him. The only thing works by him, okay? He makes everything work. He's in heaven. He controls the movement of the stars, the movement of the planets. He just sits back and watches everything work. But then when you, a child of God, needs to pray, you need him so much, he is able to just stop what he is doing and hear you. That's the kind of God we serve. And Jairus knew that. He knew that. And Jairus by name, we're going deeper now. Jairus by name, and when he saw him, he fell at his feet. And see, what was Jairus doing? He had a need. There was a need for Jairus. Imagine Jairus' need right now. Imagine how he feels. What's going on here? He says, "My little daughter lies at the point of death."
Right.
She's gonna die. Imagine the look on his face. He's probably pale. He hasn't been eating. Have you ever been so tired you just don't want to eat? Have you ever been so burdened your heart just wants to break in half? I've been like that before because I was an idiot before. You know, I did a lot of stuff in college. So I went through a lot of stuff in college that put me in that position. I'm not saying that I drank beer, smoked weed. No, I didn't do that. But I was put in a position where my heart was totally broken. Dad, I felt like I just wanted God to kill me right there. That's how bad I felt. And I imagine this man right now. His daughter is dying. He is just pale. He just wants to throw up. He is just tired, exhausted. He is scared for his daughter's life. He is worried. And now he's in distraught. And he's coming toward God, begging, "God, please do something. I need your help." He said this, "I pray thee, come and lay thy hand on her, that she may be healed, and she shall live." You know what we see here? This man had a problem and went to Jesus with the problem.
That's right.
He didn't go to no one else about it. He did not go to no one. He didn't go to Facebook. I can't stand seeing this on Facebook, by the way. "Oh, pray for me. I'm going to this right now." Is that the first thing you go to? Go to God.
Right.
You know, Brother Tom, at college, I've been through some of the most weirdest stuff there. And the first thing that goes through my mind is not Facebook.
Right.
Okay? It's video games now. It's Jesus. It's Jesus. Guys, we don't go to our friends about it. You know, sometimes I do that too. Like I tell my friends what's going on. But guess what? You know who wants to hear it more than your friends? It's Jesus.
Right.
He's the only one.
Amen.
He's the only way. And guess what? Jairus, he gave everything to God. He gave him his word. He gave him his scare. He gave him his panic attack. Whatever was going on, he gave it to God. Right. He gave everything to God. Right. You can see his daughter lying there. Imagine you're married now and you have your daughter and she's just lying there. We don't know what kind of disease she had, but guess what? She's at the point of death. Maybe blood's coming out of her mouth. Maybe her eyes are red shut. She probably has chickenpox. I don't know. She probably going through measles. Some kind of disease that's taking over her body. And he's just there day and night watching the daughters go through this, going through this. He can't even teach in the synagogue because his daughter is going through this kind of sickness. And the only person that can help him is Jesus.
Right.
And during this account, we come across verses 24 to 32. I'm sorry, to 33. We're not going to get into all the details, but here comes, as Jesus said to him in verse 24, and Jesus went with them. That means Jesus is going to Jairus' house.
Right.
And much people followed him. Much people followed him. They're protesting against Jesus. and throwing him, and a certain woman which was an old issue of blood for 12 years. Now, in verse 24 to 30, I'm just give you the backstory of this because I'm not going to fully focus on this. But guess what? Through this time, you can see God's perfect timing is working, the faith of the woman. The woman pressed through the crowd just to get to Jesus because she knew who Jesus is. And like just by the touch of his garment, I will be healed.
Right.
She demonstrated faith, demonstrated trust. Okay? Now as we get to verses 35, we see here, while he yet spake, there came from the ruler of the synagogue's house, a synagogue's house, certain which said, thy daughter is dead. Why troublest thou the master any further? You know, have you ever been through just the toughest times in your life? You know, you already demonstrated faith like Jairus. He said, I can prove that by looking at verse number 23. He said, I pray thee, come and lay thy hands on her, and she may be healed, and she shall live. Here, our faith displayed. Hey, you touch my daughter, she will be healed.
Right.
Done. Demonstrated faith. I've been in that position where you put faith in Jesus so much, and here comes someone just to tear it down again. Here comes the devil when I tear down your faith in God. Look at this right here. Why? While he had spake, there came from the ruler of the synagogues and said this, thy daughter is dead. Why troublest thou the master any further? Guys, in your lifetime, you will experience that. That's when you demonstrate faith in God, here comes somebody who's going to shut you down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Here comes somebody who's going to, what makes you think you can be a good preacher? Oh, what makes you think you can do something with your life? Hey, you want that car? You know I got to work hard for that. Oh, what, you think you can pay for your bills? Or on PCC, I remember I was going through some trials right now. I was putting my faith in God. I said, God, you got to pay for my bill. It's about $1,800. I'm putting my faith and trust in you. I had a smile on my face. I walked in the office. Yeah, man, my guy's going to do something. Another guy told me, well, you need $1,800 so it's going to get kicked out. Like, I need to hear that. Like, I needed to hear that. But guess what? I love these comforting words that are next. In verse 36, as soon as Jesus heard the word that was spoken, he heard it. Okay, this is cool. He said this, as soon as Jesus heard the word, verse 36, that was spoken, he said unto the ruler of the synagogue. Okay, he must have turned to the man and said this, as he was looking at as he's hearing the bad news, your daughter is dead. He's probably just in distraught, and he's just worried, and he just looked at him and said this, hey, be not afraid,
right.
Only believe.
Amen. That's good.
Only believe.
That's good.
During this man, he was just sorrowful, he was scared, and when he heard that his daughter is dead, he's like, what do I do now? And Jesus is always there, always knows what to say. He says this, hey, I'm here. That's what he's saying. I'm here. You don't be afraid. Only believe. Amen. I'm right next to you. Hey, you forgot. I'm walking to your house still. Hey, that lady, I healed the lady with the blood. Hey, I cast out those demons back then. I can do some work now. We got to remember this. God's God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he does not change. Right. He will help them. Guess what? Remember when Joseph was being sold to slavery? Guess what? In those verses you see there, and he was with Joseph. Right. He was with Joseph. Amen. Every step of the way. Amen. He is with Joseph. Right. And what Jairus realized, he was placed in the same position as Joseph in a way. But this time, Jesus was physically, spiritually there and said this, hey, guess what? Don't be afraid, only believe. Right. I am here. Right. And guys, I just want to tell you something. Through your darkest troubles, through your trials in your life, through the most hardest situations that you ever face, you don't be afraid, but you only believe.
Amen.
I remember when I was, I dated a girl, and this is like those, I'm sharing this with you guys, so you guys make this dumb mistake too, like I did. And I dated her for like 2 years. No, actually, I knew her for a year, and I dated her for another year, so I knew her for 2 years. I was actually going to propose to her. Lord have mercy, can't believe that. I look at her now, I was like, man, thank God you said it. Okay, but no. Please don't post on Facebook, Dan.
I'm not, man.
You know, but it's so funny. It's so funny. I was so scared breaking up with her. Like, am I going to find another girl? Am I going to be alone for the rest of my life? Am I going to be single? Every man's word, dun, dun, dun. Every man's scared. And I'm serious, every night my heart was ripping and happy because the way she was treating me, it broke my heart to beyond belief till my heart was about to rip open. That's how I felt. I even looked up to God and said, God, it hurts. It hurts. You laugh because, you know, I'm not going through that now, but guess what? When you go through that, it's not going to be funny. When somebody breaks your heart, it hurts. Pastor Tyson, it hurts. To the point you just want to die. You can't take it anymore. I didn't know what this man's going through, but I'm trying to compare it with that. That at night I'm staying up for 3 days, haven't eaten all day. God, is this what you want me to do? I can't do this. Well, guess what, hon? She's breaking your heart. She's doing this to you. What are you going to do now? And guess what? Brother Tom texted me in the morning. I said, Brother Tom, I'm afraid. I don't know what to do. And Brother Tom texted me this verse. He said, be not afraid, don't believe. Brother Tom, it's so amazing. I kind of wish you texted me this 3 days before that. But it's like the Holy Spirit just came upon me, and my heart was at peace. Everything else, I just like, you know what? God's got this. I broke up with her that day too. But guess what? I looked at her and I said this, God has got this. I'm not going to get to all the details because the rest of it was his history and the rest of it was dumb. But she's happy now. She's with another guy. Praise God for that. But I know for a fact that when Jesus speaks to you at your worst troubles, go to him. And he always knows what you're saying. That's right. And my title of message today is be not afraid, only believe. But how can we do that? Why should we do that? How can we do that? Well, we're going to look at 3 things in this passage. We're looking at 3 things. Number 1 is recognize who Jesus is.
Right.
Recognize who he is.
Right.
When you do that, when you show that, when you recognize his authority, when you recognize his power, then guess what? God, he's going to work. Faith that works is dead. God's going to work. And then once we realize that God's at work, once we see God's power, God will show his omnipotence that will be revealed. Point number 1, recognize who Jesus is. Mm-hmm. Jerry knew who Jesus was. Right. And you know what? Sometimes what bothers me, Brother Tom, do we know who we're talking to?
Huh. Mm-hmm.
You know, I was actually, my point number 1 was going to be this. Do we know who we're talking to when we're giving Jesus our problems? Mm-hmm. He's not Dr. Phil. He's not Oprah Winfrey. We can just go to him constantly. Just go to him when you need him. He's there all the time. Right. Is he your card, your number 1 superior card, or I can pull out every time? Is he your spare tire? Who is Jesus to you? You see, Jairus, he displayed a big problem. He gave it to God. Guys, let me tell you something. Don't get this in your mind, because we get this in our mind sometimes. Guess what? Your sin will not hold you back from God, by the way. As a matter of fact, if you let it. If you let your sin to hold you back from God, that's what the devil wants. Because guess what? Jesus, he forgave you already. Go to God. Go to him. Don't feel like, oh man, my sin is too great. Oh, my problem is too great. Oh, I'm just going to be down in the dumps today. Like what we're talking about, Proverbs 17:22. I'm just going to be, is that Proverbs 17:22, right? Joy Farm, make a trip of accountants. I think that's it. Let's put that there. When we get down to the dumps, we can't go to God with our problems. We can't. Jairus did.
Right.
Don't get that in your mind. Jesus, he's always there. Right. Know who you're talking to. Last time I checked, his mercy, his grace is greater than your sin.
Right.
Know who you're dealing with.
Right.
Jairus said this, and besought him greatly, saying, we're going to look at this right here, the besought of Jesus. Now, besought means that besought him much. Now, besought him, it means that he's begging him earnestly. Mm-hmm. He's begging to the point where, hey, guess what? He's on his knees and says, God, I need your help with this. Right, he is urging, he is pleading. What problem do you have that you need Jesus to work on? Matter of fact, what problem do you have that you haven't told Jesus yet? Mm. Oh, my prayers have not been answered yet, man. I'm done with that. Jesus told me, did you bother to ask him? Mm. Did you even tell him about it?
Right.
My little daughter lied at the point of death. There's his problem. There's his problem. My daughter is dying. Please help her. Please help her. You know, he went to Jesus with the situations. We should go to Jesus with our situations and not the world. And guess what? Alcohol doesn't get rid of your burden. Right. Alcohol doesn't get rid of your problem. Right. You don't go to the bar, tell the bartender, have a little shots of Hennessy, and say, oh, I'm good now. No. Last time I checked, it's going to be there tomorrow morning.
That's right.
After you're sober.
That's right.
Mm. People do drugs down at Pensacola Christian College. They used to do it. They told me, I used to do cocaine just to get away from the world. I used to smoke weed just to get away from the world. But guess what? The problem is still there when I'm done smoking the weed. When I'm done drinking. The only person who can make that go away is Jesus. Right. The only person that can hold your hand and go through that is Jesus.
Right.
He knows your work. He knows your struggle. He knows your pain. I just love it when I think it was in John chapter 17, Jesus prayed that we'll be in heaven with them. But at the same time, I think it was John, or later on in the chapter, he said, Lord, if it be your will, remove this cup from me. You know what he's saying? He's saying, I don't want to. This is about the crucifixion of Jesus, what he has to endure. Guess what? All the heartbreaks, all the pain, everything, Jesus endured that.
Right.
He drank of the whole cup. Right. And guess what? He knows your heart. He knows your burden. Just don't hold back from it. Amen. Don't hold back from it. You tell him.
That's good.
He said, I pray thee, come and lay thy hands on her, that she may be healed, and she shall live. There was a faith that was displayed. Now, I just want to say this too. His problem also drove him to God. You know what? Sometimes I think, what does drive us to God? Is it just our problems? Does it have to be our problems? Sometimes I'm ashamed of myself. Like whenever there's a big thing come up to me, I feel like, oh man, this is when I should pray. I should be praying to God all the time.
Yeah. Amen.
I should be praying to Him all the time. And by the time it hurts me, there was this pastor named Pastor John Bishop. Great man. He's blind. Okay, he can't see nothing. He's legally blind. And you know what he said on the altar, Dad? He said this. He said that I thank God that God has given me a reason to be on my knees. All because he's blind. Wow. You know what? We're healthy. There should be no reason of us going to God, but then just us wanting to fellowship with Him.
Amen. Right there.
Then just us wanting to fellowship with Him. If there's a problem in our life, yeah, go to God with it. But at the same time, on your spare time, when you wake up in the morning, you turn on your PS4, your Xbox One. Do you get on your cell phone, go on Instagram or Facebook? What do you do in the mornings? Do you seek God like how David did in Psalm chapter 63? Early will I seek thee.
Yeah. Amen.
Early will I seek thee. What do we do in the morning? What do you do at night? Do you only come to church just because there's some fun activities going on at church? Do you only participate in godly things all because, hey, there's some ladies over there, not because of God's there? Now, dare not we should do that, but at the same time we balance it out, amen? God was more important over here. Well, now what do we do? When you come to church, you fall asleep. But yeah, at nighttime, you stay up all night. Oh man, I'm trying to get that 30 kill streak, man. I'm trying to get that 30 kill streak on PUBG, unknown battlegrounds, all that stuff. Or how about this Call of Duty 3, trying to get the unknown kill streak. But yeah, when you come to the house of God, you're there slipping over. Yeah, you're getting that 30-minute kill streak too on your napping time, huh? We get so upset over the video games, over technology. We don't get upset at ourselves. Like, God, when was the last time I came to you in prayer? When was the last time I begged for you to be there in my life, to reveal yourself in my life, to fill my bedroom up with your word, with your love, with your presence?
Amen.
But instead of this, oh God, I have problems, I just want to give it to you. Hey guys, don't get me wrong. Jesus, He always wants to hear your problems.
Right.
1 Peter 5:7, cast all your cares upon Him, for He careth upon you. And Psalm chapter 55, verse 22. He wants to hear your problems. But at the same time, like I said, He's not your go-to car. He's not your spare tire. And we look back here, and then this situation came up. We see the faith that was displayed. He said, come, I pray thee. I pray thee so my daughter will live. Please put your hands on her. When you're going through a problem, by the way, guys, you should display some faith in Jesus.
Right.
Sometimes, like I said, do we know who we're talking to? Sometimes we tell Jesus our problems. Oh, because Jesus wants to hear it. Here you go, God. Okay. You feel like nothing's going to happen, but you need to put your faith and trust in Jesus. Right. Guys, let me tell you something. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. Okay? From your bills being paid, from financial issues down at college, I'm there praying. God, please do this. I know you can do this, God. I've seen you work before.
Amen.
There's nothing you can't do. I mean, for the point on down in college, I was praying. I was hungry. I was stressed out. My friends looked at me, you lost weight, man? I'm like, what? I didn't even realize what I was doing. Eating for 3 days, all because of my college bill, all because of this crazy, all because of the situation that's going on. I'm trying to watch what I say here. I'm trying to be nice as possible, okay? I am nice. Okay. All the problems going on. You're just overwhelmed by this. You're overwhelmed, you don't know what to do. Still display faith in God, because guess what? There's a devil out there. Yeah. He wants to steal that away. That's right. That's what he wants.
That's right.
I'm not trying to use the woman who had the issue of blood as a way, or the devil probably use it. No. Guess what? There's going to be some things that come up in your life. You're like, why is this even here, God? Why is this person here? Why does this have to go through God? I need money. I don't need some lady asking me for money. But guess what? It's all in Jesus' perfect timing.
Oh my goodness.
It's all in Jesus' perfect timing. You know, there's a lot of lessons in here. There's a lot of stuff we can get from this. But I'm trying to point out stuff that was evident. This man heard about Jesus, but he didn't know Jesus. He heard about him. Guys, we're no different. We know Jesus. We're saved. We have Jesus. But do we go to him? Do we trust him? Do we put our faith and trust in him? Reason why we are afraid? Reason why we are afraid is because we don't trust God with our problems. We don't trust God with our problems. Being not afraid of unbelief. We're afraid. I don't trust you, God. That might as well be to say that. We just do. Sometimes it's hard to put your trust in God because you're like, man, is he even there? Is he? I've been in that position, guys. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. Like, God, are you even there? Are you even hearing me? Are you listening to me? Please come down from the clouds and talk to me. I prayed that prayer one time. It was in Corporal North upstairs in the attic. I said, God, are you even there? Just talk to me. Because I feel so alone right now. I don't know what to do. I said this one time. Come out the clouds and just come down in this room, stand in front of me, and just talk to me. Because I have no clue what to do. That was the position I was in. I told Jesus, this is what I'm going through. This is the problem I'm going through. This. Please, I'm begging you, deal with it because I can't take this anymore. I am tired of losing sleep. And Jesus, he always knows what to say. He says, hey, guess what? Just because this is coming up, just because this is springing forth, just because this issue is happening, hey, guess what? Don't be afraid. You hang in there and believe because I'm still here. Right. I still sit on the throne. I'm still God. Hey, guess what? I remember Barack Obama was in the White House. Hey, God, he was still God then. Right. John Trump was in the White House. He's still God now. Amen. Right. Thank the Lord. Hey, guess what? When you go into a situation in life, hey, guess what? He's still God. Last time I checked, he was the God of Moses. He was the God of David. He was the God of Joseph. He was the God of Isaac. He was the God of these people that served him. And guess what? He is still here. He's still here today. He's still on the throne, and he hears your prayers.
Right.
The faith that was displayed. Guys, remember what he did in the Bible.
Uh-huh.
He can still do that. Of course, he's not going to answer prayers when come on the clouds. Got in the car. Oh, you see the car coming down. I don't know, it might be a Lamborghini, whatever it is. Yeah, of course he doesn't do it, but guess what? He gives you what you need. Okay, he doesn't give you what you want, he gives you what you need. Because if you get what you want, you're not going to go to God back anymore.
Right.
He gives you what you need. The Bible tells us that faith that works is dead. This man, he demonstrated faith. I mean, after he displays faith, there is always somebody to tear it down. There's always that person that has to tear it down. Look with me in verse 35. He said, while he yet spake, there came from the ruler of the synagogues a house, certain which said that thy daughter is dead. Why troublest thou the master any further? Hey, guess what? Your daughter's dead. Why are you bothering Jesus? What's the point? You know what? This servant, I was going to go into the Bible and be right there and smack him across the face and ask him this, do you know who you're talking to? That's why that was a big thing. Do you know who you're talking to? And you know what? I just love this part right here. This is the most comforting thing that we can ever face. Whenever you're going through the most difficult times and situations, Jesus said this, as soon as Jesus heard the word that was spoken, he heard what this man said. Hey, your daughter's dead. And it's kind of like Jesus saying this. Like, I heard that. You know who you're talking to as well? With your big ears? No, I'm kidding. He didn't say that. He said this. That was spoken. He said unto the ruler of the synagogue, be not afraid, only believe. Number 2, the comfort of Christ. Know who Jesus Christ is. Just give God your problem. Know where he stands, and the comfort of Christ will come. I remember 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 3 through 5. We can turn it really quick. I'm quite sure we have plenty of time. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 3 through 5. It says this. Blessed be God, even the Father of our Lord Jesus. If you guys are there, just pretend that you're there and just read it with me. Blessed be God, even the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. The Father of mercy is the God of all comfort, who comforteth us in all our tribulations, that we shall be able to comfort them which are in any trouble by the comfort wherewith we ourselves are comforted of God. God is always there to comfort you. Don't forget that. He was there to comfort Jairus. He's there to comfort you. Right. I love that part right here. And guess what? The assurance of Jairus. You know what? In verse 36, that tells me he gave an assurance. Hey, I'm still here.
Right.
I'm still here. I'm not going nowhere. Hey, you shouldn't be afraid. You shouldn't be afraid of the things that are going on in your life right now, or whatever the situation is going on. Some of us in here, we have a certain problem that we feel like is big. And guess what? Jesus Christ is bigger. He was probably discouraged after this because by the time he said this, please come to my house. And as he was going with them, the crowd started following, like, what are you guys even doing around me, okay? We're going to my house, and God's going to heal my daughter. And then, as the crowd was pressing against, you know what throng means against him? Like, pulling against him. Hey, Jesus, what's up? Hey, I need your help. Just pushing against Jesus, and Jesus is trying to get to the man's house. They're pulling on him. They're pushing him. They're like, hey, I need to talk to you about something, Jesus. And the woman came through and pressed toward the crowds. And when all this has happened, can you see Jairus going on? I mean, I'm not trying to make a joke out of this, but he's probably eager. Okay, you healed her now. Can we please go now?
Right.
You healed her. Can we please go? My daughter's waiting. Because he had to put up with this. This is the motion that he had to go through. Okay, we're going to my house. We're going to my house. These people need Jesus. He healed the lady. Now he's like, can we just go? That's why I say this now, guys. When people need Jesus, he is never too busy for you.
That's right.
There's probably millions of Christians in the whole world that pray to God like he's their own God, which is really good. But guess what? He's never too busy for you. Right. He is omniscient. He is all powerful. Guess what? Nothing is too hard for him.
Right.
Nothing is too hard for him. When you pray to God, guess what? He hears it. And he's going to be there for you. He's not too busy. He never is too busy. These people need him. I can see Jairus now like, okay, please let's go now. But guess what? You know what? Jesus told Jairus as well, how I feel like what he's saying. And guess what? In my timing, by the way.
Right. In
my timing. I'm still here, but guess what? I'm still God as well. I'm still a God. He says, be not afraid, don't believe. We're going to your house now. Jesus is always there. Jesus, he was also establishing his trust. Hey, remember what you said? Hey, you said that once I touch your daughter, I can heal her. Okay, don't be afraid. And sometimes what our worriness just take us over, that we don't believe Christ anymore. And guess what? That's what the devil wants. He wants you to be discouraged. He wants you to be worried. He wants you to be down in the dumps to where, right. Guess what? God's not inside anymore. Oh. The reason why you feel like God's not there, because you're in your own woe is me pit. Right. Instead of going to God with your problems. Guys, when you feel like he is not there, when you feel like your prayer is bouncing off the roof, you still pray. Right. You still do it. Okay, you still pray. You don't stop. Right. Okay? Look, we're so persistent when it comes to video games, when it comes to football, when it comes to basketball, when it comes to jiu-jitsu and all this stuff. When your coach tells you to give me 110%, we go over that. But when God tells us to have faith and pray, why do we always have to pray? You just pray! Uh-huh. Just pray! I know it's hard, I know it's tough, but you just have to pray. You know, when your teacher's giving out a test, he is giving you all the answers before the test, okay? Hey, this is going to be on the test. This is that. Remember this. I remember in Greek class, Lord have mercy. I want you to remember all the aorist passive, the aorist perpendicular, all this stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm remembering. And when he gives out the apperson form, guess what? You feel like he's not in the room because you're so quiet. You're focusing on that test. But guess what? After everything he has taught you, he's going to watch you apply it now. Mm-hmm. Jesus watches and gives you everything you need to apply to your life. And when we feel like he's not in the room, he's there. He's there. He's watching you closely. Right. He's watching you closely. Amen. Just like how a teacher's watching you take that test. Yeah, so of course you want to cheat. But at the same time, he's watching you. What you will do. What answers will you put on there? Right. How would you react? Would you grab your face like this? Oh, I can't take this test anymore. What do you do during that time? In verse 37 said this, and he suffered no man to follow him, save Peter, John, and James. Peter and James and John, the brother of James, and he come into the house of the ruler of the synagogue and see the tumult. I think it was a tumult or a tumult. One time, help me out here. Tumult, yeah, see it. Amen. I got it the first time. Now, what that said, there was a confusion there, and them that wept and wailed greatly. There was a confusion going on there. Like, okay, the basic thing here, Jesus is at work now. He's at work. He's going to do something. I need to hurry this up. Jesus is going to do something. He's at work. That's what we can get from this. And when he was come, and he said unto them, why make ye this ado and weep? Why making this a big situation, guys? I'm here. He said, and weep. The damsel's not dead, but sleepeth. And you know what? He said this. Look at this. And he come into the house of the ruler of the synagogue and see the tumult. and them that wept well greatly. He saw them that were weeping. These are people that were weeping for their daughters. Sometimes they're paying good money just to weep. Okay? Not gonna get all the details. In verse 39, he said this, and when he was come in, he said unto them. That means he's talking to the people that are mourning. He's talking to them that are mourning. He said, hey, why make ye this ado and weep? The damsel is not dead but sleepeth. And the people that were mourning, they started mocking Jesus and laughing at him. They mocked him. Yeah, after you guys were crying and making all the fake tears, hey guys, you're just asleep. So this is another situation. You just want to go inside the Bible. Like, why are you laughing at Jesus? You think something's funny? Always, you know what? Here's something that I got from this. Here's something I got from this too. There's a different reaction from Jairus and the crowd. Okay? Number one, we're even doing there just to be getting paid. Number two, they didn't. The way they were laughing at him, laughing to scorn, they didn't believe in Jesus. They didn't know who he was. There was a different reaction. Jairus knew, he heard, he believed. These people that laughed. Who are we, guys, today? When we have a situation, I'm not gonna give it to Jesus. He never does anything good for me, anyways. You know what, too? Sometimes we don't say it, but when we come to the house of God, we display it. We sit down here, we sit down like this. Man, this stuff don't work out for me. You know, guess what? You know what you do? You be like these people too. Yep. You don't care. You're laughing God to score in a way of, guess what? He can't do nothing for me. What is this? He can't do nothing. When they laughed at him, he said, what can you do for her? She's asleep? Hello? Jesus, she's dead. That's what we do. But guess what? Here's some of our idiot minds think I'm talking to myself here too, because sometimes I get this, I kind of exclude myself from this. God sees things differently the way we see it. Okay? Because Jesus knew there's a life after death.
Right.
I'm not going to get all the details here, but guess what? Where are you going when you die, by the way? There's a life after death. That's where Jesus said, hey, she's asleep, she's not dead. Where are you going to go after this? But how I like this, he sees things differently the way we see it. You know what that is saying? Hey, guess what? When you're going through a certain situation, you have no clue what's going on. You think that, oh man, this is just here in my life just to mess me over, just to burn me, just to make my heart ache. Guess what? You know what Jesus sees it as? Hey, I'm making you stronger, by the way.
Right.
I'm making you stronger. Hey, God sees things differently the way we see it. We're just a human, sinful being that doesn't see nothing. God's up here, we're down here. Hey, who knows? This trial is just here to make you even stronger and stronger and stronger. In James chapter 1, verses 3 and 4, he says, take it all joy and fall into diverse temptations. Take it all joy. Why? Because he wants to make you complete, mature in him. That's what his goal is. See things differently. I mean, this is when in verse 40, he said, and they laughed and scored, but when he had put them all out, he taketh the father and the mother of the damsel. And it's just sad, people laughing at Jesus. Guess what? God's not a joke.
Right.
When Jesus said he's going to do something, he's going to do it. When Jesus says he's going to come back, I believe he's going to come back.
Amen.
He didn't tell us the day when he come back. Hey, he's coming back.
Right.
God is not a joke. He doesn't joke around. These people, they thought Jesus, he was a joke. Guess what? When you pray to God, it's not a joke. It's a serious thing. God, I'm laying this before you. Please do this for me. I'm begging you. Because God, I know you're a God of your word. You're a God of trust. You're a God of strength. Please, Lord, help me. He's not a joke.
Right.
And these people are laughing at him like he's a joke. Who lost their senses. But when he had put them all out, he taketh the father and mother of the damsel, and them that were with them, and entered in where the damsel was laying. Now here's an amazing part right here. We have already covered, number one, recognize who Jesus is. Number two, the comfort of Christ. And number three, the omnipotence of Christ revealed. The omnipotence of Christ revealed. We're going to look at that in verse 41. And he took the damsel by the hand and said unto her, Talitha cumi, which is being interpreted, damsel, I say unto thee, arise. And straightway the damsel arose and walked, for she was of age of 12 years, and they were astonished with a great astonishment. Guess what? Like I said, Jesus is no joke. When you go into that situation in your life, we have no clue what's going on. Guess what? Like I said, in Jesus' perfect timing, put your faith in Christ. He told Jairus, don't be afraid, only believe. Do you know who I am? And Jairus knew who he was. That's why he asked him, Lord, put your hand on my daughter, she may be healed. But guess what? When that discouragement came, Jesus said this, hey, guess what? I'm still here.
Right.
I'm still here. And guess what? When we get to this point on right here, his omnipotence was revealed. You see Jairus just astonished and amazed. that Jesus did this for my daughter.
Amen.
I'm quite sure she was amazed too that he rose her from the dead. You know what too? When Jesus said that she's sleeping, the people are like, oh, she's sleeping, she's dead. Guess what? Jairus knew something else too. He's probably like, you know what? Yeah, she's dead, but God's going to do something. I know it.
Right.
I know he is. He has going to do something. He has to. Jesus' timing is always, Jesus' timing, you have to realize something. Jesus is on a different level as us. His timing is always perfect. And his timing was perfect here. Remember when, I'm going to rabbit trail. Remember when Lazarus died? His timing was perfect.
Amen.
His timing is still perfect here.
Right.
It's like, hey, guess what? Yeah, okay, guess what? You know what? I'm going to do this thing for you, but guess what? I'm going to make it even worse so I can show you what's up, amen? Hey, I think in John chapter 9, God is always there to glorify himself. His glory was revealed to all men. And straightway the damsel was in walk, for she was of age of 12 years, and they were astonished with a great astonishment. The power of God was demonstrated.
Mm-hmm.
The power of God was demonstrated. Plain and simple. That's it.
Right.
When we think times are rough, Jesus said, be not afraid of only believe, because why? He is a powerful God, and he does what he will do. He does what he will do. The compassion of God was revealed.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the stuff that was right here, when he rose her from the dead and all that stuff, guess what? From chapter 5 and from the very beginning, all of that was driven by compassion as well.
Right.
He saw Jairus heartbroken. Jairus was crying, his tears filled up. And guess what? You know what Jesus did? Guess I'm coming to your house to heal your daughter. Because why? Jesus loved him. You know, I can see right now Jesus going back to the Garden of Eden. He sees Adam and Eve eat the fruit of the trees, but all of them are sinning. And you know what? That burdens Jesus. That's why Jesus here. He saw the sin of this world affecting Jairus. He saw the sin of this world affecting his daughter. And Jesus, moving with compassion, said this. Guess what? Let's go to your house. I will heal your daughter. I will heal your daughter. I see your pain. I see it all. I see all of your faces. That's what sin is doing. But guess what? And guess what? There's a life after death, Jairus. There's a life after death, people. She's sleeping. That's why I'm here. I see the pain on your faces. This is why I'm here, to take away all that sin. I'll rise you from the dead, but guess what? When I die, all men shall rise through me, if they believe.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All men shall rise. God, Jesus is so amazing. So amazing that he's going to put death to an end. He's proven that right here. He's proven that in his death at the cross.
Right.
There's a compassion behind everything that Jesus did. A compassion. All happened because of God's perfect timing. You see that Jesus had a compassion, and his power was revealed. Recognize who Jesus is. Recognize who Jesus is. Give God your problems. Share your heart with him, and the Lord will comfort you. And he will assure you that he is at work. He is at work. And only then will you see his power. Hey guys, that's the way we cannot be afraid, because you believe in Jesus. You see who he is, he will comfort you, and his omnipotent will be revealed. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank God for